What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Uber Cooled Garage. On this week's episode, we're going to be painting the Ghia. As you can see, it is extremely bright white. I got sick the week before last, so I wasn't able to clear coat it, which is fine because I'm going to fine sand the whole car, make sure it's all nice and smooth and ready for clear. And then last weekend was bugorama, and it was the first one in over a year. So, of course, I had to go out there, say hi to a whole bunch of people, walk around, check out what everybody did over COVID. And now we are back on this. So, we will hop right into this episode. Hope you guys enjoy. Oh my god, my phone went off on high temperature, so I didn't end up getting the time lapse for you guys. I am super sorry. This is 2 coats of white. It is extremely bright. You almost need a pair of sunglasses just to look at it. Probably doesn't come through in the camera, but it is extremely white. So I did, right when I started, I had a mess up right here and right here. Not gonna lie, my lights, my respirator got stuck in the chain on the lights and I just messed up. So I have one drip mark here and one drip mark about here, and you almost can't even see them. But I was planning on doing a wet sand on the clear, or on the white. So I'll wet sand this, get it smoothed out, make sure there's no nubs, nothing like that, and then we are ready for clear coat. So I'll also make sure that there's no streaking anywhere, no tiger striping. But it turned out really good. Really like the way that this turned out. So you can kind of see just a little bit of tiger striping here. So I'm gonna wet sand the car, make sure everything's nice, smooth, make sure that I didn't miss anything, stuff like that. So we will do that and then we'll clear coat. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to be able to save this rear deck lid. It is a lot worse than I thought it was initially going to be. Pretty much all of this metal is completely gone. You can actually see it has rusted all the way through. So I would have to cut that whole entire section out and reskin it, and I don't even think it's gonna be worth it, because yeah, I could get it pretty close, but it would take a ton of body filler to get it correct, and I'm just starting to get into it. So you can see the big glob weld here, you still have a hole here, there's two more on the other side, there's a big glob weld over there, and who knows what the rest of this looks like, because you can see down here, this is all Bondo. So as I grind further down in, there's more spots where somebody had fixed a bunch of stuff. If you look down here, somebody welded something in here, and then there's another big spot where somebody welded something here. So I think I'm gonna have to text the customer and tell him this rear deck lid's not gonna work. So if you guys have a rear deck lid for a 68 or so Ghia, hit me up. So I'm pretty sure I'll be on the hunt for one. So we will figure this out and probably paint it later on once we find a new one. Just in case you guys didn't believe me how bad the hood was, this is what it took to smooth it out. So every single little bit had to be sanded out. There was actually, all of this was all pitted out, all the paint and everything. It's weird, it's almost like, they're almost like rock chips, but it's not rock chips. So it was really bad all the way in through here. Super bad pitting. You can see there was a couple little spots here and there all over the place, and then this whole corner of the hood, there was no paint at all. Right underneath the black was just raw steel. So kind of glad that I sanded that out. So here's kind of a comparison. So you can see how bad some of the chipping is, but this kind of looks like clear coat, but then when you get into here, there's like rock chips almost. So I don't know, it's super weird, but whatever, it is what it is. Sand down the hood. I got half of it done. I'm going to throw some self-etching primer onto this. Make sure there's no high spots or low spots or anything like that, and then we should be good. All of this is really smooth. I don't know why it's got the scratch marks in it, so if the primer doesn't, smooth over right here, then I'll throw a skim coat of Bondo on it and sand it out, make sure it's all nice and smooth. But other than that, got half the hood sanded. We'll throw this in primer real quick and then start on the other side. Sorry for the wind, but we have made it to Bugorama. So we will be camping all weekend. I'll take a bunch of pictures and videos and all kinds of stuff for you guys. And we'll finish out this video.
Brown, 1203.5 at 160. Both on the 1090 index.
Are you gonna eat these?
Top end, Mike, 1128.6 at 125.
All right, so after talking to Zach, we kind of decided that we are going to use this deck lid. I'm just going to try and get it as close as I possibly can. It's not going to be perfect, and I know that there's quite a bit of rust on here, but I have an idea. It might work out in the future, so I'll talk to Zach about it later on, and we can figure something out. But we're gonna get this cleaned up, ready to go, ready for paint. So it's actually not quite as bad as I originally thought. There's some good pits in here. There's a couple good ones in here, but they're all, other than that, they're all pretty shallow. So the two holes down there, and there's like a couple spots over here that are pretty deep, but right here is pretty deep, but it hasn't rusted through yet. The metal still seems pretty darn solid, so we're going to clean this up as good as we can, and then we will fix the problem areas, the holes and all that stuff, and we will see about throwing some Bondo on here and some primer and see how it turns out. It's actually, the deck lid itself is in pretty darn good shape, other than where the wing sat. It's pretty funny, you can actually see exactly where the wing sat. So just pretty much where the wing sat. Everything else is pretty good. There's one small dent here, but other than that, the rest of the deck lid is in pretty good shape. The underside is in good shape. It's all structurally sound still. So it's just these problem spots. So I'm gonna get it as close as I possibly can, and then we will get it in primer, see how it looks, and then hopefully it turns out good. If not, we will still paint it. Well, we'll get it as good as we can. We'll still paint it. We'll put it on the car. That way he has a deck lid. It's the same color as the car. If worse comes to worse, we can source another deck lid or find another deck lid. Or I have an idea about this. So we'll figure that out, and then we can repaint the deck lid later. I'm probably going to use the same white paint on the roll cage of the Bug, with a little twist to that, but we'll get to that later on. So this is looking okay for now, and we'll just keep body working it until it's pretty darn close, and we'll go from there. So I've been working on the deck lids still. It's been a lot of work. I ended up cutting out a section here and replacing the steel because it was pretty bad. I filled the holes on both sides, ground down the ugly booger welds on there. Still have quite a bit to do. So there's a good sized dent here, and then they filled in some holes down here. So still have to sand this bottom portion. There's a couple spots I don't know if you can even come close to seeing them, but there's a couple spots in here that I have to fix, and there was one other spot. I believe it's down here somewhere. Yeah, right here. So, got this in primer. I'm just going to do some filler putty in here, fill those in, and then I have a little bit of sanding to do left down here. So finish off the bottom, clean up the grills, and fix those couple little spots, and then we are ready for paint. So the hood's done, the deck lid's done, we'll get those painted, and then probably gonna clear coat the entire car and then start working on door jambs and stuff like that. So it's getting there, getting very close. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you this week. Unfortunately, the weather's been too hot. Haven't been able to get this car into clear coat. So looking Tuesday, Thursday, it's supposed to cool down to paint temperatures. So I will probably clear it on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm gonna get the hood and deck lid painted probably late one night. That way that stuff can cure overnight, and I'll fine sand that before I clear coat the car as well. So we will get this thing cleared, and then we can start working on the interior stuff, getting that stuff cleaned, prepped, ready. And I finally got a hold of the ECU company finally emailed me and told me that the computer for this car is done, and it has since then shipped. So very excited about that. So might be starting the car next weekend, getting all the wiring situation done. Still have a couple things to do with that, and then we will get this thing fired up, clear coated, put back together, and then it's seriously just a couple minimal things, and then Zach can take his car back. So we're getting really close. I'm getting really excited. My car is scheduled to ship within the next couple days, so I will have 2 cars gone, which would be really nice to have the extra room, and then I can bring in the next one. So until next time, see you guys. Peace out.